Hey, but it's Trent back from another video. I know it's been a few weeks since my last video. I posted my new car tour, and I noticed in that video that I'm going to be posting a lot more. Actually, I've been saying that for like the past month or two. There's been a lot of things going on in my life. As I said, we just moved, got a car, but there's some other things that I really don't talk about publicly. As most of you guys know, Shane Dawson is right now doing a series about Jake Paul and his life. Just recently, he was talking about if he was a sociopath, and basically just these different mental disorders that some people, especially YouTubers, might have in order to do what they do. Ever since he posted that video, it's been sparking a conversation about mental health and mental disorders, and just a whole bunch of different things involving mental health. This is something that should have been talked about a long time ago, but I'm glad that it's being brought to the table now. And since it is, I just feel inspired to talk about my issues that I haven't really talked about. I might talk about it throughout my videos, but I don't really think I made a video about this topic itself. As you can tell by the title of this video, that topic is about depression and also anxiety. Before I get into this video, I just want to tell you guys that I don't think that this conversation is something that should be taken lightly. You should definitely go see a doctor and to see exactly what might be wrong with you if you feel like you might have depression or anxiety or some other kind of mental disorder. Throughout elementary school, I was a very shy and quiet kid. I didn't really have many friends. I just hung around a couple people and that was it. But I was happy with that. I was content. I was just doing my own thing. I've always been a very reserved person. Back then, it was shyness. Now it's just reserved. I just keep to myself. When middle school came, things got really difficult for me. You know, it was a new school, and I didn't really know anybody that I had classes with, and I really just felt alone. And that's when I started realizing that something is wrong with me. I would get anxious over everything. At first, it started out with just test anxiety, something that's very common for students. But then it started to progress into more and more things. I was too scared to even leave the house. I was too scared of this and that. And I was just letting every little thing become one huge thing in my head. But, you know, me being in middle school, I was like, what, 12 or 13 years old? I didn't know how to deal with that. And I didn't know what was going on. So it got to a point where I was just feeling so upset about everything, anxious about everything. I can't even describe to you how I was feeling, because at that time, I didn't really know how to describe it. And to this day, I still don't know how to describe it. I just feel what I feel and I think what I think, and that's all there is to it. Even when I went to a counselor, I couldn't really tell them what was wrong. I could just tell them what I was feeling, what I was thinking, and then that was enough for them. Because I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong with me, where things went wrong, what the issue was, because it was all in my head. My head created those issues, and I didn't know how to explain that to anybody. I got to the point where I wrote a letter to my mom telling her how I was feeling and how I was having suicidal thoughts. And at that moment, she was like, okay, we need to get you help, because that was the first time I even came to her about this problem at all. I didn't really want to die. It was just that living was really difficult for me. I'm scared of dying, but I'm just so afraid of living. That counselor was a waste of time for me. It really was, because I didn't want to talk to this person. This person didn't know how to talk to me. It didn't help me at all, because it made me stress out even more, because I go to the counselor once or twice a week, and then because I'm going to that counselor, they had to change my classes around to work around my counselor's schedule, which caused more change, and change really stresses me out and gives me such bad anxiety. So it was just causing more problems for me. I couldn't get comfortable. And that's why it's hard for me to try new things or to do new things, is because when I'm comfortable, I'm content, and I don't want to do anything that's new, because then it stresses me out because I don't know what's going to happen, and I just get anxious from it. So the counselor wasn't helpful at all. I only went to her for about 3 or 4 months. But during that time, though, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. After a handful of months with that counselor, I just stopped going. I was like, Mom, this is not helping me at all. I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. It's cool. I'm good. I'm fine. But it was rough, and it was a very dark time. Middle school was the worst 3 years of my life. They were very, very dark times for me. Because even when I wasn't alone, I felt alone. And all of this anxiety that I felt about my future and what can go wrong or what is going wrong, I thought it was a common thing to feel, but I realized that it shouldn't have been common. People think that when you have anxiety, it's just that you get overwhelmed and that's it. But it's more than being overwhelmed. People think that if you have depression, you're just upset all the time. But it's more than just being upset all the time. There's so many misconceptions with these two things. When you have anxiety, it's not just being overwhelmed about something. You do get overwhelmed, because that's what is part of the anxiety attacks that some people experience. But it's really severe sometimes. It makes you not even want to leave the house. It makes you not even want to talk to the people that you know that you can talk to. It makes you feel so alone because you're too scared of being hurt by people that you isolate yourself. It makes you second guess everything that could possibly run through your mind. It makes you second guess everything that you can or can't do when it comes to your job, your relationships, literally everything. You question everything. And every single day I have to realize that. And I have to fight through that. Every single day I have to push myself to do this or to do that. And over the years, I've gotten a lot better at it. But back in middle school, when this was first started to happen, it was rough. Now it's about, I want to say like 6-7 years later. So I've gotten better at learning to cope with it. But at first it was rough. And people don't really understand that. It's more than just being overwhelmed or being stressed out. People that don't have anxiety, that's all they see. But people that have anxiety know what it's like. When it comes to depression, it's more than just being sad for a couple hours or for a day or for a week. Depression and anxiety are both very similar in how they make you feel. When you have both of them going on at the same time, you really just feel, at least for me, you kind of feel like a zombie. You're alive, but you're not living. You don't want to necessarily live. And by live, I don't mean die. You just don't want to experience life. You'd rather lay in bed than go outside. Depression is more than just being sad. You could be extremely happy and have the best day of your life, but still feel miserable and still be miserable. There's been countless days where I had the best day of my life, absolutely nothing goes wrong, but then my mind just messes me up, you know? I still haven't been able to put into words what it's like to experience these things because it's just so confusing and I can't understand it. I still haven't been able to understand it. It's just frustrating because I try so hard to be happy all the time, to post these happy videos and to post these happy posts to help other people. I guess me pretending to be happy sometimes makes me forget that I'm actually not. So it really is a cover-up, and that's what depression is like. Depression really is like a mask. It's one of those things where you fake it until you make it, but some people can't make it and some people can't fake it. I may seem happy all the time, but I'm not. And people who really know me know that this is a serious issue for me because they know how I am, they know how I act, they know how overwhelmed and stressed out I get. And as I said, anxiety and depression isn't about being stressed out, sad, and overwhelmed. There's a lot more to it than that. But those are the only ways I can describe it for people who don't know what it's like. Because it's a lot more to it than that, but that's all that they see. So I guess if that is any remote way for you to understand it, then that's how I can describe it, even though it is much more than that. Should I probably go back to a counselor to get more help for it? I probably should. Personally, I feel like I'm a lot better than what I used to be. But I also feel like deep down that I should continue getting help because I shouldn't have to experience this alone, especially because I don't necessarily know how to deal with it sometimes. This is me opening up about my depression and anxiety, something that I haven't really talked about before. But as I said, with Shane's Dawson series that he's doing, it really inspired me to open up about it and to start this conversation. I'm sorry if this video kind of all over the place. I didn't really plan it out like I usually do. I usually have a whole paper with bullet points about what I want to talk about. I didn't really plan on making this, and everything that I was saying just came from the heart as I went. Something I forgot to mention about depression is that it gets in the way of you doing something that you love doing. And that's part of the reason why I haven't really been on my YouTube game lately. When I say there's a lot of things that are going on, it's much more than me moving or me getting a car. I just don't have the motivation. And it sucks because I love YouTube. But it's the reality of it. It takes away the motivation to do the things that you love to do. Because you'd rather just lay in bed and do nothing than to get up and to do something that you love doing. Forgot to say that earlier, so, you know, there's that. That's part of the reason why I haven't been posting videos lately. I've been trying to get through it, but it's rough. And I always see YouTubers post videos about their depression and like them crying on camera. I'm never going to be that type. You won't see me crying on camera unless it's happy tears. I'm not posting this video to make you feel sorry for me or to complain, but it's the reality of it. Like, these YouTubers who do have depression and go through these things that take long breaks, I never really understood it, but I get it now. I'm not even that big of a YouTuber, but I get what it's like to not want to do the things that you love doing. That this video isn't to complain or to make you feel sorry for me. It just makes people feel like that they're not alone. Somebody out there gets what you're feeling. I get what you're feeling, and other people get what you're feeling. And I'm really glad Shane Dawson started this series because it's a good way to start this conversation. But with all that being said, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, share with your friends if you want to, or if you know anybody who might need to hear this message, or if you know anybody that can relate to this, definitely share this video with them so that they know that they're not alone. Subscribe if you are new, and tap the bell to be notified whenever I post. I don't know when I'm going to be posting, so if you tap that bell, then you won't miss out on a single video because you'll get the notification whenever I do post. Thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for the support. See you guys in the next video.